I'm gonna show you how you can easily do a manicure on yourself at home with regular polish. So make sure you watch all the way until the end so you don't miss any of the steps or tips and tricks that I'm about to share with you. So first, let's talk about all the supplies you're gonna need. Starting with nail polish remover, cotton, 70% alcohol, nail clippers, a nail file, buffer, nail wipes, a cuticle pusher, cuticle nippers, cuticle oil, hand cream, base coat, nail polish in whatever color you like, and your top coat to seal all of that in. If you have any nail polish that you wanna remove, you can do so. I only have nail polish right here on my pointer, and that's because my nail was cracking, so I tried to put some clear coat on it so it would be less chance it was gonna break. So I always do my cuticles first. I'm gonna take my cuticle pusher here and I'm just going to gently push back on my nail. I'm not scraping it really hard. You don't have to push too aggressively or else you could damage your nail. I'm only pushing from about the middle of my nail. You see, I don't need to push all the way from the tip. So after I have all the cuticle off, I'm then gonna go in with my cuticle nippers and I'm going to trim this excess here off. If you're afraid to use these cuticle nippers, the thing is, you're gonna know if you take this and you cut down too far and you go on your skin, especially if you're going slow, because you'll feel it pinch, and you know if you feel that pinch, you're gonna cut your skin and you're gonna bleed, and you don't wanna do that. You don't wanna cut your actual skin back here. I'm gonna go up under the proximal nail fold and I'm going to nip and get it off that way. If you are scared to do it, you don't have to do it. I don't think my nails are that long, but if my nails were longer and I wanted to trim them down, I would take my clippers at this time and I would cut them before I file them. Cutting them is just gonna make it easier. You're gonna have to file less and do less work. So now I'm gonna shape my nails and I'm taking this file here. The one that I have is a 100, 180. So the one side is more coarse and it's 100 and the other side's medium and it's 180. I am going to be using the 180 side. I don't wanna use the 100 side on my natural nail because it could rip it apart and just break it and not what I'm looking for. So I want to use a higher grit, a medium grit for filing my nails. Whenever you file your nails, you want to file them in one direction. So I'm going to go from the outside of my nail and file in. Each time I'm going to do that, outside, in. Outside, in. You don't want to saw it back and forth because that can cause breakage and splitting. So at this point, I think my nails look good. This hand is shaped pretty well. They're all kind of uniform for they're even about the same length. So now I am going to go ahead and I'm going to start buffing them. If this is the first time you're using a buffer, you may want to prep the buffer. And what I mean by prepping the buffer is I'm going to take my buffer and my nail file and I will rub it across the edges here so they're not as sharp on the corners. So in that case, if my buffer would end up to touch me on my skin, it's not going to cut me because it's going to be duller on those edges. And I'm gonna go across my nail here like the same way I did with the file. I'm gonna go from the outside in. Outside in. You don't want to take it and saw it across your nail. You just want to take gentle strokes. Whatever you do, try to make sure that you're avoiding buffing your skin. Don't buff your skin. The biggest thing is you're trying to remove the shine off of that nail. And if there's any extra cuticle here on your nail, you can get it at this point with the buffer. So now my nails are prepped and ready to go. At least my left hand. My right hand is so sad. There is nothing going on over here. It's all on my left hand. But I'm ready to prep this with the alcohol. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some alcohol on this pad and I'm gonna wipe it across my nail plate. Doing that helps dehydrate the nail so it's getting any excess oil or dirt off of my nail plate so my polish will adhere better. And also I think it's just really a good cleaning technique. If you have any dust left on your nails from filing, the alcohol will just take that all off and you're gonna get a nice even coat of nail polish then with no bumps. And make sure that you're really getting in there and cleaning it well. I'm making sure that I go on the sidewalls here of my nails to make sure that there is nothing in those little cracks here on the edge. If you're finding this video helpful, please hit the like button so that way I know it was helpful for someone to watch, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my nail content. I make educational videos just like this one, and I also love making nail art tutorials, so check that out. But wait, finish watching this one first. We're not done yet. So I'm ready to start painting my nails now, and I'm going to start off using my base coat because it starts first. Base, it's the foundation of our nail polish. I'm sitting on a chair with an armrest, so I could put my elbow here and paint my nails this way, and then I could take my other hand that I'm gonna paint with and rest that arm on my table to make sure that I have that steadiness, that I'm not going to move my hands at all to make it easier instead of free painting like this. That's gonna be so hard to do with your arms not attached to anything and free painting in the air. You're gonna paint your skin, okay? So you can rest it on something like that, like an armrest and a table, or you can do both table for both hands, and I'm gonna show you how to do that here. So when I paint, I'll put my hand down like this because I want to paint from the back of my nail forward. You don't want to paint forward to the back because you're going to end up getting polish all on your skin back here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of polish, wipe it off on my bottle, and then I'm going to start painting. I have my hand rested on the table that I'm painting with, and my other hand is also resting on the table, so I'm making sure that I'm staying very steady and not moving. I'll take my pinky even and rest it on my hand that I am going to paint. I'm gonna go back as far as I can to the cuticle and then dragging my brush forward. I'm gonna do that on all of my fingers. It might change for how I have to hold my hand for each finger that I do. So for this way, I'm resting my arm more on the table, and now I'm going to rest my arm that I'm painting with on the table, but also balancing it on my hand. Back here, I have my pinky on my hand as I am going to paint my nail. If you wanted to, you could also lay your hand down flat this way and rest your other hand on the table and paint like this. So now I'm going to let this dry. I don't want to go directly and start painting my color polish on top of this. You want to make sure that it's drying so that way it'll dry faster in the end instead of being one globby thick mess on top of your nail. If you're doing both hands right now, which obviously you are if you're going to do your own nails, there's a few things that you can do. You can paint this entire hand until you're finished and let it dry and then paint this hand, or you can paint this until you feel that it's dry enough to the touch to go on to paint this hand instead of waiting 10-15 minutes until after you have this whole hand complete and then painting this. The biggest thing is you want to make sure that it's dry enough and that you're being careful so you're not taking your polished hand and bumping it on something and getting angry because now you smudged your nail polish and you have to start all the way over from the beginning. I'm gonna do the same thing with this deluxe nail color that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm gonna rest my hand and I'm going to paint back to front. I made a mistake. Okay, so at this point, if I want to take this off, I can take the little end of my cuticle pusher and just scrape it off. And then I have a little bit of nail polish remover on this pad, and I'm just gonna take it and wipe it like that. What can be hard is trying to get that polish off if you have polish already on your other hand, because obviously you don't want that nail polish remover to get on these nails and accidentally remove some of that polish. So what you can do is you can take your little nail wipe at that point and you could fold it up onto here, dip it into your acetone, your nail polish remover, and then just slowly get on the side of your nail to remove that polish. Now my nails are drying as I have on my first coat of my colored polish, and I want to make sure that they're dried well before I go in with my second coat of my colored polish. As you can see, I didn't go back too far on my cuticles there, but that's okay because whenever I go in the second time, I'm gonna get a little bit closer, and I'm also going to make sure that I seal the tips this time. Polishing my nail as normal like I did first time. I'm making sure that cover everything. And now what I'm gonna do when I'm sealing the free edge, sealing the tip, that means I'm going to get this little spot right here on the tip of my nail, and I'm gonna make sure that I get polish on it. This could be the step where you get polish on yourself like I just did. If it does look a little uneven, which I think this actually looks pretty good, except for right here I missed. On the side, I'm gonna get that. The whole purpose of me going in and doing this tip around the edge of my nail is so one, if there's color on there, it's gonna look more polished and finished. Polished, haha. Polished as in perfect. It's gonna look polished and finished perfect, and it's going to chip less. Now I'm definitely going to let this second coat dry before I put my top coat on, so that way it won't be thick and tacky. It'll go on really nice, and also it's not going to stick to my top coat. So if this isn't dry, my polish, and I apply my top coat to it, it's going to get all over this brush. This brush will not be clear. It'll get red streaks on it because I have red on, and it'll just make your top coat cloudy, which I don't necessarily think is great. So make sure that you're letting this dry before you go ahead and put your top coat on. If you have a fan, you can use it at this point, or else you can just fan the air. I don't like using a fan on my nails because I feel like if there's something in the air, it's going to blow it on my nails, and that little piece of fuzz is going to get stuck to my polish, and it's going to not give me that smooth finish. And if you're a perfectionist like me, you're going to stare at your nail and say, oh, I did all this work for nothing. They're ruined. So I'm just sitting and waiting for them to be dry. Once you are 100% certain that your nails are completely dry, you can go ahead and apply your cuticle oil. Make sure that you rub it in good. Then you can add some hand cream and you're done. If you found this video helpful, I have a feeling that you would also enjoy watching this video. Click it. What are you waiting for?